Hey guys, welcome back to Rags and Stitches. This is Amy here, and we have a fun project to do today. Before we jump into it, let me explain. I came up with this idea. Not that we don't love making the zipper pouches and the cosmetic bags and all of that with the nice zipper and everything, but I wanted to come up with something simple for a beginner. Some kind of simple way of making a cute little Velcro bag. Sort of like, and I'm going to show you this one, something like this size with a little bit of embellishment on it with Velcro and lined, something cute but simple that you don't have to do all of the backward stitching and all of that on. So I came up with this idea. We're going to make today a quilted, made entirely out of felt, small little Velcro bag. Okay. Um, so what you're going to need for this project is, again, these cost me 25 cents each. These felt panels, these two pieces of felt. You just need two pieces of felt. If you want to use fabric, use fabric. I want to do felt because I want to have it kind of thick. And all you need is two pieces because we're going to make one be inside and one outside. Okay. So my red dots will be inside and my black dots will be outside. Okay. The exterior. So two pieces of felt. You need whatever patch you might want to put on it. If you want a patch, you may not want a patch. I'm using this patch that says I'd rather be watching crime shows because that's me. I'm a 48 hours freak and I like watching courtrooms too. But anyway, so I thought it would look cool on there. And then whatever you want to embellish it with, I'm going to use black lace. So, if you don't want to use lace, don't use lace. If you want to just do the back part, do the back part. Fast forward through the video till you get to that part. And, you know, um, I'm going to use some pretty lace. I mean, it's pretty thick. It's usually used for bloomer pants or something, but I'm going to use some pretty lace. The other thing you're going to need is some Velcro. So I have different colors Velcro, but for this one, I'm using white Velcro. Um, it doesn't matter how long your strip is. We're not going to use this big of a strip. It's probably going to be like this big. I don't know yet till we see how big it's going to be on the exterior. Okay, so the important thing to remember with this project, because you're not turning it inside out and all that, the important thing to remember is that anything you want to do to the outside, you have to do it before you sew the sides together, because ultimately we're going to sew it this way. Okay, so anything you want to do to the outside, you have to do it beforehand. Now, before we do anything, the first step is quilting and putting the two pieces of felt together. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch all around the border with just a single stitch. And then we're going to start quilting in lines. So you can measure your lines or you can draw them out with your tailor's chalk or whatever you want to do, but I'm just going to wing it for purposes of the video. And they're just going to go straight down. We're just doing, I'm sorry, not straight down, straight across. We're just doing horizontal lines, okay? If you want to continue on and do more than that, that's fine. But for this video, we're just doing horizontal lines. So we're only going one time to quilt the fabric. Okay. So let's start our project. Let's start with stitching all around the perimeter. I have my denim needle in my machine and I have my white thread and bobbin. Okay. So let's start. And we're going to go all the way around about a 1/4 inch seam because we want to leave as much room as we can. And you're going to be so shocked at how simple this bag is. Okay. So let's get started. I kind of came up with this on my own. I don't know if anybody else has done this, but anyway. Okay, here we go. Set that and let it go. You put it in place if you desire. But I don't really think you need to with the felt. I don't know why, but the felt seems to be so much fun to me. It's just a lot of fun to sew with felt. Do a little back stitch there. Leave the needle down. Lift up your footer and turn. Back down. Then be sure to pull it taut and if it's in right and the ends are lined up. If they have a nice. Okay, something's happened. I hope it's not the bobbin again, guys. It might be. Let me see. Something wrong back here? No. It might be the bobbin again, guys. I'm not sure. I just don't understand it. This is a fresh bobbin. Okay, I'm going to have to stop right there and figure out the problem. Well, I don't see a problem. Something else is the problem. It got tangled up. I don't know how that happened, but thankfully it's an easy fix. I think. I hope. Let's try again. Okay. It's coming out. All right, let's cut that thread. Might be a bad part of the thread. Could have been. So let's rethread. I was on a roll, wasn't I? We were going too fast, and then all of a sudden, boom. See, let's try this again. We're going to go right back to where we were stitching. I see it. Right back to where we were stitching. And we are going to do a back stitch so that we can be sure not to. There we go. Hold on, guys. I've dropped my clippers. Okay, now we're ready. That was on low setting, so now I'm using my pearl. Needle down, lift up footer, turn. Okay, maybe one problem is I'm not checking my thread to make sure everything's in its spot. Turn. Last one. It's doing it again. What is going on with this thing? I think it's my thread. It's gotta be. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to fuss. I'm just frustrated. Now it seems okay. What is going on with this? It's not my needle because my needle's relatively new. I just don't know what it would be, except for the way I've got it rigged back here. It could be that. I'm not sure. Bear with me, guys. Figure this out. Yeah, it was the thread. Okay, so I don't really know what the problem is. So I'm gonna pull it. I think I think it's hilarious because I don't have this problem unless I'm taping. If I am videoing, we were almost done with this horizontal. You know, I'm thinking I don't have another color that I could use that's neutral. I really don't. Let me see something, guys. Let's see if I have another color that's neutral. On a smaller spool, I don't. They're all, I don't want to have a bold color on there. What's happening is I have to put a spool back here and rig it up because the spool is too big to go on the top of the machine where it belongs. But usually I do that and I don't have any issues. But as soon as I start taping, and then when it clicks like that, it scares me. So if you hear me jerk around, that's why. I don't like when it clicks. It surprises me. All right, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this again. We're gonna go slow. And then we'll go back up in a minute and we'll make sure that you go back over that just to make sure that it's just to make sure that it's all right. Now some of this is going to be excess, so we will, I think it will. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right. So the next step, sorry about all that. So we've got all of our seams. Now we're going to quilt. So we're going to start quilting. Since the bag is going to be in this direction, okay, then we want to go this way with our lines. So we're going to start right here on the very corner. So go down about, let me see how far that is so I can tell you. It's about 1.5 inches from the end is 1.5 inches. So we're going to do each of them about 1.5 inches wide. You can go and mark each one with your tailor's chalk, but for the purposes of this video, as I said before, I'm just going to wing it just to give you, I'm just trying to show you how to do it. So we're going to start at 1.5 inch, 1.5, I'm sorry, inch, needle down, thread back, and then let her go. I'm watching my thread back there to make sure. It should be smooth like that. Not getting all jacked up, you know? Okay, needle down, turn it. Now we're going to go, I usually just let it go while I count to 12, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, needles down. That should give us about 1.5 inch, and it does. And then turn it. And this is basically all there is to horizontal quilting. Needle down, lift it up. We're going to go down this way. Now you're going to be turning this thread, this felt all over the place. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now we're going to count to 12 again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and we're right along the seam. Okay, put the needle down, flip it, turn it. So when you do your 12, you should be right on your previous seam, okay? So you don't really see that 12 stitches. You get what I'm saying? So all you're going to see is the horizontal lines and the border line, the border seam that we've created. Now this thing is acting up again. Now how in the world? Okay. Before we even start this row, I see a problem. So we're going to cut loose. There's some reason it's tangling around. I see what's happening. It's knotting. I think it's because of all the turning I'm doing, but it shouldn't do that. This is very cheap thread, apparently. I must have pulled a very cheap roll. Yeah, see? Yeah, it's stuck on my needle. What the world? Guys, y'all are gonna think it's a horrible machine. It really is not. It's me using cheap thread and not winding my bobbins right. That's usually the problem. But thankfully it's easy to load it back up. All right. I'm gonna invest in some really good thread. It's just everything's so expensive, isn't it? Just expensive. All right. Back to where I was. Thankfully, we didn't have to. All right. So we need to make sure it's about an inch and a half. Inch and a half. Right there. All right. Right there. Got it. Okay. Let's go again. We're not going to put it on auto. That might have something to do with the tangling or the this thread. It's definitely the thread. I can see it. Um, it's an older thread. It's not top of the line either. It's cheap. Okay, I'm turning this way next. It's the only thing about getting thread at the thrift store is you never know what you're going to get. Earlier, I used some Singer thread, which I did find. Just like that, turn it. And the Singer thread was like a big ball, so strong, and I didn't have anything breaking on me and having to re-thread. So I guess it's worth getting the more expensive. The back stitch down, turn. Yeah, see, and what's happening is I'm pulling this loose, which doesn't need to happen, but I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to get a little spool that sits in the back. I just don't have one yet. I'll probably make them. I can see that this thread is old, and I mean, like you can actually tell it is. So that's what the problem is. Okay. All right. We did it there. So we're going down this way. Okay. Ready. All right. Yeah. See, it's catching on back here. Okay. Turn it. And again, you don't have to quilters. It does take extra time. But I'm going to tell you guys, every bag that I quilt, it looks 10 times better than it did on them. I don't know why. To me, it is. I like things that are quilted. I just think it makes it look nicer and a little bit more posh, so to speak. to use my English lingo. Okay, got it. All right. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, it's approximate, but it's okay. Turn. So I can steer around. Okay. Turn. This is where I need to be careful of my thread back there. I need to get some smaller spools of white. Will fit in the top bunch. All right. Turn. Put the needle down and turn. This is a danger waiting to happen over here to do another snag. Okay. But we're only here for a minute. No, yeah, here we go. What's the problem? You can tell I'm getting aggravated. It did it again. But now you can see the problem. Look at the thread. That is crazy. Huh. It's just bizarre, guys. I don't want to change it out because I don't have any more white over here. So we're just going to have to deal with it happening for now. And it could be the twisting as well. I don't know. Oh, well. Leave it to me to make a video, and it's just mistake after mistake with this thread. Not mistake. What am I looking to say? Problem after problem with this thread. Needles down, turn it. Let's get this fabric back over here. And get this done to be the last. This might be the last row. Okay, let's look at that. Yeah. This is coming out nice regardless of the cold dots. This image is nice. That's all the quilting we're going to do. All right. And your line should look nice. I'm going to pull mine out and show you. Now mine aren't going to be probably as perfect as yours because you're going to have yours probably mapped out. Most people map them out to make sure that they're even and the right width apart. But me, on the other hand, I'm trying to make a video and do it. So I'm not doing it for perfection. I'm just doing it to show you how to do it. So at this point, we should have vertical lines all the way across. Horizontal lines all the way across. Okay, so now we need to do two things. We're ready to apply our decorative stuff, our patch, our Velcro. We have to attach all of that right now. So let's start with the patch. Now, at this point, you need to determine which side is your outside and which side is your inner. This is where you need to decide that. I want the black dots for the outside and the red for my inner, for my liner. So we're going to go this way, okay? So if we're going this way, we're not sewing it up yet. Last thing you want to do is sew these up. We've still got to put the Velcro in the patch. and possibly lace. So I think I want my patch right in the middle, right about there. So I'm gonna lay it down here, get it pinned in its place. Making sure to pin only the top layer. And we're going to go around the patch just as I showed you in the previous video how we turn. Well, just as we did just then. It's the same thing as quilting. If we run into any snags, it's with this thread. I apologize, but now I could use black thread for this. And I'm thinking that's a good idea. Let's get some better thread and see if that makes a difference. Okay, let's use one of mine that's meant for the machine, that came with the machine, that can go right on the machine, so we don't have any more dang problems today with this. So, putting it on there as such. Let's pull out this crappy thread out of the needle. And before we start stitching, I think the black thread will give it a nice contrast. I mean, it's black polka dots, it's black, but it's really going to show up on this white. But I think it'll be cool looking. I mean, I'm really just doing a running stitch, so it's not going to like show up a massive way, like if I was doing zigzag. But I think it might look good, especially we're going to be doing the black lace, and so we're going to need black thread anyway. And I'll just leave the white as my bobbin. That way, the back side, which is white, will still be camouflaged because the bobbin thread is white. And then I'll have the black here. Okay. Think we're ready? Let's make sure to pull all this thread all the way together. And that's another problem. And that might be my situation, my problem as well. All right. Let's get started. I want to run this stitch right on the black line around this. So I'm gonna kind of match it up with that and do it that way. Here we go. Yeah, that looks better. You're gonna be really quiet. We got a problem. Oh boy. Okay, hold on. I got a problem. It's okay. It's easy to fix. Take the pin out. Let's check the bobbin. Well, it's not my thread. What is it? Okay. Bobbin looks. Look at the bobbin. See, no, that looks fine. Okay. Back to where we were. I don't know what that was about, guys, but I'm going to start down at the end here. This is where you need to go through. Make sure that it's even. Turn it. Should see. All right. Last one. Take the pins out. Got it. All right. Oh, let's check it out. Really like the ends on this patch. It came out really cool. All right, your patch is on. We got it. And you can see the nice little black around it. I love this little, the patch came like this with this little frame. It's really cool. Okay. I want to go ahead. We're going to put the lace on last. I want to go ahead and put my Velcro. So this is where we're going to run into the difficult part. And I really think I may stop here and do part 2. And come back on part 2 and we'll finish it up. So I'll be back for part 2, where we'll come back and we'll put the Velcro on both sides. Then we will decide where we want our lace, if we're going to do it then. Then we will fold it and cut our little square corners out. And we'll go from there on video 2. So this was part 1 of making our felt Velcro felt bag. So we will be back for part 2 where we will finish this project. All right, guys, see you next on part 2, and keep sewing.